Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today's adventure is a Jeep overlanding trip with the rooftop tent and a diesel heater in what is quickly approaching a massive snowstorm and a total twist in the weather event. I'm not going to mention it yet. We're actually going to see if it plays out. But the snow is finally starting to come in. It is minus 10 degrees Celsius right now. More on that in a little bit. So I've got the Jeep parked right next to a frozen lake. Beautiful snowfall out there. It is freezing cold, so I am going to add a few more layers to my body right now. I have a new jacket, which I'm very excited to share with you guys very soon. I brought my overalls, and it's going to be really nice and warm. Like I said, more on that later on with the weather if it does what I think it's going to do. So before I get changed into some warmer clothes, let's get started on a hot coffee and kick back and relax. Alright guys, just taking a little bit of a breather here, waiting for that water to boil. It does need to come to a full boil because it is out of the lake. There's a running creek just behind me. And this snow is kind of like ice pellets. It's just bouncing off me like crazy. They are actual forms of snowflakes, but it's freezing. And that's because, come up, today's weather forecast is supposed to be a little bit wonky. -10, -11 right now. It's supposed to go up to +3 degrees Celsius by 5 p.m. this evening. It's supposed to snow a lot and then switch to rain. And all of this is going to be mucky and nasty. And then it's supposed to go back down to -12, -13 overnight. Which means this place is going to likely be a skating rink by morning, if the weather stays true to the forecast. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But right now, I am actually getting quite cold. That's going to take a while to boil up. So I'm going to throw on my overalls, my new jacket, and actually I do have to do one thing as well. I need to turn the diesel heater on right now, because after inspecting the inside of the rooftop tent where I haven't used it in quite a while, somehow moisture was in there. My sleeping bag is frozen like a piece of plywood. It's a downfill bag. Yes, I brought another one, but I really want to use the one up top. So I'm going to turn the diesel heater on, probably toss Boomer up there for a little bit. He's been out running around for quite a while now. Get that really nice and hot. That'll melt off a lot of the ice on top of the tent too. Get that all cleared off. And then shut that heater off for later on this evening. So let's flick that on, change into some warmer clothes, and enjoy a hot coffee. Alright guys, so I'm going to quickly try and get changed into my overalls here. It is definitely cold, so I don't think I can change these while wearing my shoes. I don't think I've ever tried. Fortunately, I think I have to take my foot totally out of my shoe because they don't unzip all the way. They unzip a lot, but yeah, we'll just go to the back of the Jeep, sit down, and shoes off and throw these on. Whew. So my other overalls, my big brown ones, I can actually put on without taking my shoes off. These, unfortunately, they don't work that way. So I would have been smart if I would have put them on before I got in the Jeep, starting my day off. But honestly, they're very warm. So driving with those on is not comfortable at all. And I am planning on having a campfire out here later on this evening. So I'm gonna need to get some wood, which means I'm gonna be in the forest, stepping in the snow, getting all wet and everything. And well, overalls are the way to go. Which way is front here? So I'm gonna throw these on. Cold, 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 cold. And then, while my coffee's staying warm, hopefully, put the lid on it, I got a new piece of gear that I'm really, really excited to share with you guys. So, let me finish this up, and it'll be nice and warm here in a minute. Alright guys, what do you think? Absolutely warm. Other than my hands, which of course I brought gloves. So, what I am wearing is the Firewood Singy downfill parka. This thing, absolutely incredible. G1000 material, very, very thick, very durable, just like my Firewood pants I'm wearing underneath. Massively downfill, very, very, very warm. Hopefully my coffee follows that. It's not steaming anymore, but let's give it a taste here. Oh yeah, it actually is still quite hot. So, now we can enjoy coffee. I have done my due time of freezing, cold, in ice, in rain, and snow. I no longer have the excuse of being cold. Very, very, very happy to be able to finally be warm. Absolutely worth it. So cheers guys. I think what we should do, Boomer's up top in the tent right now, nice and warm with the diesel heater on. Gonna let that run for about an hour. So he's totally fine taking a nap. I think we should take this chair, head out on the ice if we don't fall through, and enjoy some coffee. So let's head out there. Alright guys, well, out here on the lake, not very far from shore, and in this little tiny kind of channel area, and there's like a foot and a half of snow on top of the ice. I mean, I'm walking up to my knees through this, trying to kick the snow off here to get the chair down on the ground so I could actually sit in it. And there's a ton of snow out here. Very, very shocked. Had I have known that, I maybe would have switched up my plans and maybe did a hike out camp and slept out on the ice and built like a big snow wall around the tent to protect from the wind. But, I mean, with that weather event coming, probably not such a good idea. So, sitting here, absolutely warm. This is new for me, by the way, guys. This is new. Usually I'm out here freezing cold, in the wind, the rain, snow, doing what I'm doing and just still enjoying it. But I gotta say, this is kind of a nice change of pace. Being nice and warm, sitting out here in the elements at the same time, not hiding away inside the tent. Yeah, I could get used to this. Cheers, guys. Let's enjoy this coffee and the snow. Alright guys, well, coming off the lake, just shut the diesel heater off. Gonna totally save on battery and fuel for later on. Checked on the sleeping bag up top. It's still pretty much wet, but it is drying out very slowly. So right now, I'm just gonna do a brief little tidy up of some things here. And as you guys can tell, the snow's still coming down. It's really, really fine snow, but it's really plentiful. So it's adding up quite a bit. Still freezing cold out. You guys can see my little coffee ground puck there. Totally frozen. So temperatures are not coming up yet, I'll tell you that. And I need to get some firewood. So getting all this coffee stuff just set aside for a moment. And I did bring a chainsaw with me. Not a big one. Quite opposite, actually a very small one. So let me get that out, get it prepped and ready. I just spotted a tree literally 50 feet from the Jeep that's actually dead and ready to go. So I'm going to probably try and collect maybe 1 or 2 decent sized trees, cut those, bring them over, split them up, prep it all, get the firewood stuff ready. That way it is ready to go. And then see what's going to happen. I mean, this snow's still coming in. Looking out at the lake, the trees on the far side are barely visible right now. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know I really want a campfire, and I really do want to kick back and relax later on. So let's get all the work done right now. Alright guys, I've got the chainsaw prepped, ready to go. I'll explain really quickly why I went with such a small saw. First of all, this is the Pro Yama 26cc 2-stroke saw. Found it on Amazon, very, very affordable, very small. I mean, this thing's super portable, but still very, very strong. This brand, I have the 68 and I believe it's the 72cc saw. 2 saws from this company. They work really, really well. So 100 bucks off of Amazon. I figured why not This will get me unstuck in a pinch if I need to cut down trees or put stuff underneath the tires to get traction. Also good for firewood, right? So it is loaded with gas and bar oil right now. Just primed it. See how many pulls it takes. Almost. I mean, you can't really go wrong, right? This thing will actually cut very, very large trees. Right now it's got a 12-inch bar on there, so very, very useful. So I'm gonna take this, go that way, make a little bit of noise for a minute, get 2 trees, bring them back, buck them up, and continue on. But I do gotta say, if you've got room in your trunk of your car, your truck, your Jeep, whatever, a tiny little 2-stroke gas chainsaw. I love my electric chainsaw, don't get me wrong, and that is in here, a tiny one. But this thing takes the cake. So if you have room for one of these, I recommend, it doesn't have to be this brand, but I do recommend getting a small chainsaw to keep with you. Just, yeah, works really good. So, let's go cut that tree. Alright, so this is the tree that I've spotted. It's a very, very long tree, not very big in diameter, perfect for prepping, not a gigantic tree, don't need all that. But it looks like it'll fall pretty much right out with the camera. Might have to pop it in 2 pieces, but we'll give it a go. Fire this bad boy up. Boomer is right here, he knows chainsaws, he knows when to get out of there. Not a huge tree, so we'll be extra cautious just in case. So let's fire this up. Alright guys, the snow is really coming down right now. I am working up a massive sweat wearing this. So, I'm going to save this for later on when I'm sitting down relaxing. That is like an inferno. Beautiful, warm, but too hot right now. So we'll put on the old ripped and shredded down jacket and keep working away here. I've got, I think, a decent amount of wood for the fire. Boomer looks like he wants back up there, so I'll probably toss him up. But I've got to get the axe out shortly, start splitting those logs down. I literally just stopped cutting them about 2 minutes ago, and they're already covered in snow. It is coming down massive. I can no longer see the other side of the lake right now. Total whiteout. I'm loving this. So let's get this little guy. Get you dusted off, covered in snow. And we'll toss him back up top for a little bit. He can relax until we get the fire going. And yeah, he'll come back out after. Okay guys, just finished up with splitting all that firewood over there. I've got a load of it, pretty happy with that. Came over to the Jeep. Two things here. One, that's how cold it is outside. My water bottle's totally frozen, solid block of ice. Number two, it shattered the bottle. So my entire Nalgene bottle is no more. Not real happy about that because I actually like this bottle quite a bit. It's been with me on a lot of hiking trips, but it finally is no good. So that is how cold it is outside. I'm going to dismantle this bottle later on, discard the ice, bring the plastic out of the woods for now, put it back there and pretend like it never happened. So it is very, very cold out. The snow has turned to freezing rain and ice pellets coming down. My gloves are, well, they're frozen. Totally frozen, soaking wet from doing wood. This is why I typically don't wear gloves, but got the diesel heater. We'll dry those out later on tonight. I do want to light the fire right now. Hopefully I won't burn through all my wood fast, but I'm going to light the fire, start on supper, and then I'll be able to go sit next to the fire, enjoy that, and get a little bit warm, as opposed to eating in the cold and then lighting the fire. So get a few things squared away here and get that fire ripping. All right, with that fire going really nice and strong, we'll have really, really hot coals over there. And if it does turn to rain or heavy snow, it's not going to put the fire out. So now, clean off some of the snow, start some food prep. So what I'm going to be doing tonight is, I brought this big piece of seasoned pork. I'm going to cut it up into little strips. Get it in a frying pan on top of the Trangia, get all that cooked up. I brought some wraps, tomato, spinach, some truffle cheese, some bruschetta, a whole bunch of stuff to make wraps. And it is freezing pellets of ice right now, like bouncing off of everything. It actually kind of hurts. So I'm just gonna cook underneath of this little awning. I will mention I do have the awning on the Jeep. However, it is one solid ice cube right now. The last time I went out over a month ago with the Jeep, it rained that night. The next morning it froze. I barely got it shut, and it has since frozen even more. Cannot get it open. So not really doing me any good, but this is full on hail, like ice pellets right now. Just bouncing off of everything. So I'm gonna get cooking and get over there where I should be, next to that fire. Alright guys, it is about 5 o'clock, just about, and well, as you guys can see, the wind has not stopped. This freezing rain has not stopped. It is definitely not plus 3 degrees like the weather said. It's still absolutely freezing cold. Boomer's outside right now just doing his rounds, taking a pee and whatnot. He's going to be back up in the tent in a moment. He just had his food. He ate it so quick I could barely even get the camera on him. He was like, "It's cold, give me my food." And yeah, he's cold right now. Come on up. So got a sweater upstairs in the tent drying out, and he's burying his nose looking for food in the ground there, looking for what I was eating, but he can't have it because it has a lot of garlic and a lot of onion. So he's gonna have some beef jerky up inside the tent. We're gonna get nice and warm very soon. I don't think I'm going to be out for much longer, guys, honestly. The wind is making this firewood burn extremely fast. Like, it is burning really, really, really quickly, and I'm just not going to bother getting any more. My upper body's fine, my lower body's fine, except for my feet. My feet are really starting to get cold. They're soaking wet right now. Just the way it goes, walking around in this snow and water and stuff. I will mention that earlier on when I was getting water, like way early when I first got here out of the creek to make coffee, my foot actually fell through the ice, totally soaked. So I've been walking around with a soaked and frozen boot the entire day filming. I got the outtake on my other channel, link is down in the description if you're interested in seeing that. Along with a few bloopers and other things, but yeah, my foot is absolutely like an ice block right now. So I'm excited to get the diesel heater on, get changed, and start drying some things out. Right now I've got a kettle in there. I'm going to boil up a bunch of this ice and snow for some water. I do have a plastic bottle in the Jeep that I can put that into it. That way I'll at least have water upstairs for the morning, and for Boomer throughout the night as well. So it's important to get that boiled now, because once I head up there, I'm likely not going to come back out, but I am going to try and push it. Once I get all this boiled up, once I get him back up in the tent, which I'm going to take him up right now, he's too cold out here. Once I get settled in to actually be able to sit and maybe get my poncho on, block out some of this rain and ice and snow and all that nonsense, maybe I will sit out. I don't know, we'll see. But right now, priority one, he's cold. Got to get him up in the tent, so come on. You coming? You want to? Okay, let's go. Up in the tent. Come on. Alright guys, Boomer up in the tent. I decided to throw my rain poncho on. If I put on my parka, the fur around the hood is likely going to get singed sitting that close to the campfire. I'm just not comfortable ruining that jacket. So I think this will work. Oh yeah. That's a little tight. So this is a very large poncho. The benefit of using these is they block the wind. And I know it's a little goofy, you know, to some people. Very popular in the military. They cover your backpack so you can walk with your pack. But the benefit with this is, other than its camouflage, it's blocking the wind and all this ice and snow. It'll actually trap a little bit of warmth inside of it with the barrier sitting next to the campfire. It will melt if embers hit it, which is not good, but it's kind of, you know, burn my down jacket or melt a hole in my poncho. So I'm going to give this a go next to the fire. We'll see how it works. Alright guys, well that is the last of the firewood tossed in there. The freezing rain is still coming down. I had to reposition to the other side because this freezing rain is driving into my back. Poncho is actually working out really well. I gotta say, I don't know why I didn't do this earlier, because this would have made a lot more sense. The heat from that is, it's interesting because the poncho, it's acting like a super shelter. So it's actually preheating my bubble of air underneath. If I sit in the chair and I stay still, it traps a little bit of warm air, which is really nice. So it is getting quite dark out. I know on the camera it probably doesn't look that way, but it is actually getting dark. Nightfall is here. This weather's pushing in. I cannot see the trees on the other side of the lake again. Total whiteout. The tracks on the way in here from the Jeep in the snow, looking up the trail, totally gone. The ground is flat, no tracks at all. That's how much it snowed and all this freezing rain. So gonna let that do its thing for a little bit more, and then probably within the next 15-20 minutes, I say it's gonna be time to jump up in there, get this poncho off, put that away, and bring all my necessary clothing up top that I'm going to need to dry out, like a change of socks, another hoodie, things like that. I'm going to have to prop my shoes next to the heater vent and dry everything out overnight. So I will see you guys up in the tent. All right guys, just getting comfortable inside the tent. So just got everything put away up here and kind of organized. Yeah, ridiculous outside. That's all I could say. So I had to open this door, get all the snow off the awning. The tent did rebound quite a bit. As you guys can see, there's still quite a bit of ice on this roof. The diesel heater will melt that off now that I'm up here, and that's what that little give is right there. You guys can see this corner behind me getting tight, and then it kind of sags a bit. Just a little bit of weight there. So the sleeping bag that was wet is still wet. Not as much as it was. Down by the foot end, there's a spot about that big, and then up here underneath of this pad, it's a little bit wet. I might be able to sleep underneath of this. I might not have to open up my sleeping bag, which is the Nemo Cosmic down -29 degrees Celsius. But honestly, I think if I do sleep in this down bag, I could shut the diesel heater off and I'll be totally warm up here. I won't have to get inside of this like a sleeping bag. I'll be able to unzip it, leave the foot box zipped up, and then drape it over top. That way Boomer can kind of get in and out of it. Hoodie for a pillow. I've got this foil pad, this sit pad up here, plus I have a full body foil pad down by my feet right now. I haven't undone it. It's still folded up, so I don't know if I'm going to need that, but if I do, I'll put it down. I was anticipating this sleeping bag being a lot wetter than it is, and it's actually, and the mattress underneath is totally dry, so I might just sleep on top of this. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, ridiculous weather out there. Cold, windy, freezing rain, off and on, just ridiculous. The whole Jeep was just rocking a minute ago from the wind. So, Boomer is starting to go to sleep. That's how comfortable it is up here. So I've got the diesel heater on low right now on speed 2, I believe. I have a remote up here for it, but I can't see the LCD. So I just kind of listen as I'm clicking up through the speeds. And usually once it goes from 6, and then if you go up one more, it jumps down to 1, you'll hear a drastic difference. And then you know, okay, I was just at 6, now I'm at 1. I go back to 6 and down to 5, or to 1 to 2, whatever. But that way I can kind of tell what speed I'm on. Also, I know roughly what the readouts are on the Jackery on the LCD, so if I turn the display on, I can see how many watts it's outputting, and I can make a very educated guess on what speed it's on that way. So the remote's up there, Jeep is locked up, I've got everything in here. If you guys have not seen a video with me up in the rooftop tent, go back and watch one or two. You guys will get an idea of how I set the tent up. So I do have snacks up here already. I've got a bag of chips, some jujubes, pepperoni, coffee for the morning. I did pick up a coffee grinder, so I know, real bushcrafty on this trip, right? The reason why I got this electric coffee grinder at that is because I have a surplus of coffee beans, and my hand grinder just would take forever to get through all those. So that was really, really affordable. I grabbed that. So I'm going to play with that tomorrow morning right here at the Jackery, grind up some coffee beans. I brought the canister stove up here as well, so I'll be able to brew up here. That bottle of water, oh, it's still outside. Uh-oh. Well, not uh-oh, it's got all night. There it is. It's right on the roof. There's an ice chunk floating in it. So this is the water. Pop that just for a second to get the bottle to rebound. So this bottle was full, half of solid ice. I dumped in the boiled water that I just boiled over the campfire in there, so that's melted it out. So this is going to stay up down by the diesel heater vent. So we've got water. So that is basically it, guys. It is crazy windy out. I've got everything hung up other than my down jacket, which is behind the camera. I'm going to hang that up here later on this evening, so it'll just kind of hang and capture all the hot air overnight. And that's basically it. So I'm going to say goodnight to you guys, and it's movie time. Boomer's already crashed out. Guess I'm by myself tonight. So peace out, guys. I'll see you first thing in the morning. Alright, guys. Trying to sleep, not really working right now. I'm being tossed around like a rag doll. The winds outside are violently strong. Holy, this whole side of the tent is like someone's, look at this, someone's pushing in on it, like, oh wow, I don't know where this wind came from. It was like a switch. It's been doing it for about an hour now. The whole Jeep's just shaking and rocking. Right now it's actually not bad, and yet everything's just bouncing all over the place. I've heard probably 5 to 10 trees snapping out there. Like crazy strong wind. This is the first time in this rooftop tent. This is the first time in this rooftop tent that I've been out in very strong winds, but I've been in massive windstorms in rooftop tents before, and it is so hard to sleep. The whole vehicle's just shaking and bouncing. The trees outside are snapping like crazy. The temperature did change though. There is a massive difference in the air temperature right now. It is actually plus temperatures right now. So that explains the wind. Holy, like all the walls, like look at this.
just going crazy. Like, just crazy. So, all the trees out there snapping and falling down. All I can say is I'm glad I brought the Jeep with the winch, and I'm glad I brought a chainsaw, because I think tomorrow I'll be surprised if I don't have to cut any trees to get out of here. That's crazy, crazy strong winds. Holy. Like, again, look at the side of this tent. I know you can't really tell until I push in. Like, it's actually fighting the wind, and that's the lake side. This is the non-lake side, and we've got something similar happening over here. Not as bad, but crazy. I'm trying to sleep. It's not happening. So, yeah, figured I would just bring you guys back because, yeah. The one thing that I've been thinking is, like, what if the wind gets so strong and, like, a part of a tree falls and hits the tent and the whole thing just, like, snaps on top of me like a wedge? Because that's how it folds down. It wouldn't be fun, I can tell you that. Oh my. Alright, well. It's so bad that, like, the reason why I got up is because I could hear banging on the side of the tent, and I actually thought one of the rods that holds the awnings let go, and the awning was flapping and, like, ripping off of the tent. So yeah, let's have another look outside real quick here. I'll grab my headlamp here and turn this on for some light. But I thought it was so bad that one of the rods had let go or broke. It's actually the awning material flapping in the wind, snapping like a flag. And that's what that sound is. Holy. Wow. Alright, so my eyes are watering. It is so windy. It's not tropical warm, but I'll tell you, compared to minus 10, minus 13, like earlier, that's a warm wind. Warm. Oh, I'd probably say it's definitely like +2 or +3. But that wind is blowing so hard, it feels like it's 0. Whew. All right, Boomer, come on. He's hiding down by my feet. He's in the sleeping bag right now. Hi, do you want to say hi? He was just stretching. Oh, there we go. All right, well, we're gonna try and go to sleep. I just figured I'd bring you guys and share some of the tent life things and high winds that we have to endure. Alright, well, I gotta get this light off because it's like a strobe light bouncing in my face. But, good night, guys. morning, guys. It is an absolute wind show out there all night last night, all morning today, and almost even into the afternoon. I'm saying that because I'm just waking up right now and it is almost 11 a.m. You guys can hear that and see. I mean, look at this wall. It is so windy out right now. I don't even know how I'm going to pack up the tent. Boomer is in the sleeping bag right now with me. I did decide to get out the old -30 Nemo bag for last night, which was absolutely needed. Saved all my diesel fuel for this morning, so I got the vent right next to the camera. It's actually up high, blowing kind of towards my chest and face area. It is so cold out, it's so windy. The whole tent and the whole Jeep has just been shaking and rocking non-stop. I tried to sleep last night, I got an hour and then I woke up. I got 20 minutes and then I woke up again, and finally it just clunked out, exhausted, waking up right now at almost 11 o'clock. It's the latest I've ever woken up on a camping trip. So, I got coffee stuff. Let's make some coffee. It's so cold that the tab on this canister has a little bit of liquid. It's frozen. I try and use the lid to pry this off. Oh yeah, that's not coming. Alright, hold it up to the heater for a second, I guess. It is absolutely freezing cold. That wind chill, I don't even want to know what that wind chill is. It's probably like -30 degrees Celsius. It is so nasty. And it's coming right off the lake, blowing in all kinds of snow. The rods to the tent, as far as I could tell, the 4 rods that hold the awning, I looked out probably 10 times last night just to make sure they weren't ripped off, because it was banging and clanging so bad that I thought they failed and they ripped off, and I didn't want the awning material to tear. They're still there. What you're hearing, the clanging, is the metal hook in that grommet, just banging and clanging. It will not let go. And this is like, no joke, I've hammock camped in a full-blown hurricane before. I would put this neck and neck with that experience. I wasn't in a Jeep, I was in a hammock. I'm in a Jeep right now, and I'm getting knocked around just as violently as I was in a hammock. So, I do have a video on that. Definitely check that out. But for now, let's get some water in here and let's get brewing. Now the big bonus with this particular canister stove is the pot locks into these fins. So having it up here today, especially with it being blown and banged around, it's very highly unlikely that it's going to spill, which is really, really cool. I did bring a electric coffee grinder. Yes, you heard me correctly. I have a surplus of coffee beans that I need to grind, and the hand grinder is just taking far too long, so I'm cheating. Let's plug this in and let's grind up some fresh coffee. So that coffee grinder works really, really good. More importantly, it's a million times quieter than I thought it was going to be. This is from Master Chef. I just found this at a local Canadian Tire. Just grinding these up, I totally forgot that these are bourbon coffee beans. I had to think there. I had a whole container of bourbon whiskey flavored coffee beans, and I just found them. So that is what this guy is. Now that water's on, I'm very limited with working space right now, so I have nowhere to place the camera, but it's alright. I'll hold it for now. It's too windy to place anywhere in the tent, just keeps getting knocked over. This coffee smells absolutely incredible. I ground a little extra because I have my container that goes inside my cup for my brew bag. I'm going to fill this with that, so that way that's full and ready to go, and I'll have coffee for hiking trips. Water is almost up the temp. This doesn't usually take very long. You guys can see we're already steaming there. Cracking the window to let the fumes out is a must. Works really, really well. And it is just crazy, full on massive wind out there. Right now it's actually really calm. The calmest it's been all night and all morning. It's blowing snow like a blizzard on the other side. Right now you guys can see it is snowing. It is actively snowing. Move this mesh out of your way. Put you guys right outside. So it is actively snowing, but it's snowing sideways because it's so windy. Crazy. And like I said, that is the gentlest the wind has been all day, all night. Wild. The other side, I still can't even open that door. Like, you guys can see how hard it's blowing in. As soon as I unzip, yeah, you guys see a big old spurt of snow just shoots in. So that's a no-no. The snow's coming in off the lake. Very, very nasty conditions. So this is, well, we're ready to go. So we'll shut the stove off. The diesel heater is on, by the way, guys. So the hose right here, nice hot air blowing right at me. And to give you guys an update on the battery, we are currently outputting 36 watts. That's including the charge cable for batteries and the lights inside the tent and the diesel heater. We only dropped it down to 80%. And that was just after using the AC for that and charging a whole bunch of things all night long. So we're doing really good on the battery. Let's pour this coffee here. Oh yeah. Oh, it smells incredible. Let it steep for a second so it'll really soak in those coffee beans so we get a really good extraction. All that water I poured in there, none of it made it into the cup. Not a drop made it into the cup. So that is going to be a really, really nice coffee. Let it steep. Let it really saturate, and it'll start giving out all of its flavor. And that's the biggest thing with pouring coffee. Some people ask, why do you pour it so slow? Well, to get the proper extraction, you really want those beans to hold onto the water for just a moment to really suck all of the flavor out of it. The temperature of the water plays a huge part in that too. If it's not hot enough, it won't extract properly, and if it's too hot, it'll almost burn it. It tastes awful. Oh yeah, this smells incredible. Alright, so I think that'll do by the time that's done. steeping through there. And you guys can just see like how much wind there is. The whole coffee thing's just being shook around on top of the battery. Like, and there we go, full whiteout. Getting distracted here, but like this was just, I literally looked and it was just a wall of white. It's just pushing through the forest. Yeah, nasty out there. So coffee is steeped and ready to go. I do have a little bit left in the pot for water. Do a quick transfer here before it overflows. Pop that in the pot, just like that. Super simple. Put the lid on so it doesn't moisture all over the place. I have one creamer I'm gonna add to this. Oh yeah. Place that there. I've got my spoon down here. I'll have to wipe off the grounds now because this is brewed. Give that a little gentle stir. Oh yeah. All right, let's enjoy. Oh. It's good. It's really good. Oh, and the hot air coming out of the diesel heater. I've got a remote here that I can increase or decrease the speed. Problem is I can't see the LCD screen out there, and right now I can't actually hear the speed of the pump because it's too windy, it's too loud. But I can feel the amount of hot air, and I can look at the battery and I can see how many watts it's putting out and make an estimate from there of how hot it's pushing out right now, or what speed it's on. I think it just went to speed 1 right there. So now I know if I go back, it'll be on max. I think that's it. It's hot. It's really, really hot. Hi. I just spilled coffee on myself. These temperatures are not coffee worthy. Or these conditions, I should say. Man, it is just blowing snow like crazy out there. And this is on the Jeep locked side of the forest. That side, and behind, and in front, I'm looking at what the Jeep is blocking, and it's still nasty. The bonus with this is, I have my gigantic parka in the front seat of the Jeep, which is going to really, really help out. So I'm going to throw my overalls on while I'm up here. Or actually, no. I'm going to throw my down pants on while I'm up here. I'm going to preheat my boots, get those situated by the heater, and get really, really nice and warm. And then it's going to be crawl out of here, which is really actually going to be quite difficult. I can only get in and out from that side. Unfortunately, that's the side that the snow is blowing in on. So we'll enjoy coffee for a moment.
packed up. As good as it's gonna get. There's a tiny spot up there that needs to be tucked under the weather seal, but it's a game of cat and mouse going left side to right side. I'll fix that when I get out of the wind. Right now, my face is in the wind. I'm at an actual high risk of frostbite right now. That wind is just ripping my face to pieces. These shards of ice. It's like I'm in a sand booth for paint stripping. So that's good. Come out of the wind for a moment. I took my parka off. I got that inside. That did a tremendous job blocking all of that coldness. But coming inside, it is a mess in here. Total freak show mess. So I just got to get a few things situated and then hopefully start the Jeep and start moving. Okay guys, so finally got the tent packed up. My face is probably beet red right now. It took about 30 minutes to pack up. I was totally bundled up, my green down jacket on, my Fjallraven parka on, gloves, hoodie, absolute craziness trying to pack that rooftop tent up. It's way easier than a soft top, I will tell you that. But that oncoming wind is just relentless. Absolutely relentless. So we're packed up and ready to go. I've got the Jeep started. We're preheating things right now. Boomer's in here in his seat all curled up. The winds are just ridiculous. I loved it. It was such a good trip. I didn't get a lot of sleep. I don't know if you guys could tell, but I didn't get a lot of sleep. And it is currently, it's 12:07 in the afternoon right now. Usually I'm gone and out of camp spots by like 9:30, way behind. So I've got to get out of here. Just looking out at the lake. From inside, it looks beautiful. As soon as you open the door and you feel the ice hitting you, it's a different game. So I had a great time. Let me know in the comment section what you guys thought, and don't forget to click the link in the description to the behind the scenes of this. There are some bloopers and outtakes and funny things in there, so be sure to watch that. Until next time, peace out guys. I'll see you in the next one.